Temt-Ta, Abdur Kull Shaayuaat, Saamus, Shil Pa Temt-Ta, Anuki Maku Nubu At Sagar, Maku Shil At-sik-hata Shil Yamasee-Nuwabianat, Wahaza Kalun, Chassid Yawum, Kalun, Chassid Yawum, Wahid Meya Tased, Rawad Ila Antutin, Haza Kalun Jed Nefir Yawum, Liana Haza Yawum Pa Abyud Hat, Kalun Tim, Na Tug Shinu Antutin Sofa, Bamul An Pa Lihumat Fi United States. Greetings. This is 5-day comment number 109. This is a great and fantastic day. We just got an article. This is perfect, and this proves our point regarding the SF-181 and the problem that not only the United States, Canada, Europe, England, Spain, China, South America, all have a problem with the definitions of race which they've refused to deal with. So when you look over here, this is the article, just came out today. Trump administration delays decision on race and ethnicity data for census. Race and ethnicity data for census, this is December 2nd, 2017, just yesterday on the Gregorian calendar. A major decision on the way the U.S. government collects information about race and ethnicity through the census and other surveys was expected to be announced this week by the Trump administration. But the White House's Office of Management and Budget, which sets standards for this type of data for all federal agencies, was silent on Friday, which OMB had said was the deadline for an announcement. A spokesperson for OMB could not provide any information about the delay. So what we're going to do, as always, we're going to provide the information that the OMB cannot provide. Yet the OMB has knowledge of, because we know they're watching our posts on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, MySpace, all over. So this is what we've got here. Back on, and we published this on Facebook, is there a publishing date here? Let's see, there should be a date. Okay, May 1st. Yeah, because April 30th was the deadline for responses from the public regarding the changes they want to make with race and ethnicity. And the White House wanted to change the definitions of white to make it the Middle East and North Africa. So myself and other people from At-sik-hata and other autochthons who've gone through our indigenous standing process, they have put in a complaint, or they put in feedback, which is what the OMB wanted. And so this was excellent. So this was the response that was put in. As you can see, this is where it's published here on Calameo. And we counterclaimed why the definition of white, which is here in the SF-181, CDC, Center for Disease Control, uses the same definitions. The National Institute for Health for all the hospitals in the United States. This also includes Canada as far as the race and ethnicity is concerned, because it's a global standard. The Canadian universities, the Canadian colleges, they all follow this same definition of race, and the same goes for Europe. The definition here is white, a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. For those of you that follow, and for those of you that might be new for the first time, Europe is named after an Ethiopian princess. The Middle East is really Northeast Africa, and North Africa, of course, is what they call in English Africa, which comes from the Arabic word farqa, or Afriqiya, which means to separate, which is exactly what they did. So when we go back to this issue, according to, let me see if we can get the image up a little bigger. There we go. Free white persons, referred to in the Naturalization Act as amended by an act on July 14, 1870, has meaning naturally given to it when first used in First Statute 103, meaning all persons belonging to the European races and commonly counted as white. Now, what it states down here is does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European, Dravidian, Semitic, and Mongolian tribes who inhabit Persia. So let's go through this again. The word free white persons as described on here, this is on Google Images, and this is from the ex parte United States versus Cartosian. You will see it says free white person does not mean Caucasian race, Aryan race, or Indo-European races, nor the mixed Indo-European Dravidian. So we sent in our response. I did it on behalf of At-sik-hata Nation. Others who were autochthons sent in as well. And we sent this, as you can see here. This is our comment to the OMB Office of Management and Budget. So we know they read what we were telling them about the Middle East and North Africa. Creating that into another race called MENA is ridiculous because it doesn't escape the fact that Europeans are not what they call white or Caucasian. Now, where's my further proof? Coming right up. So as you can see, we had this published right here on Facebook on April 30th, because the deadline was midnight April 30th. And we found out about it earlier that day. And these are some of the autochthons who went and responded. Kerhet, Sapphire, Ahanu. And his suggestion was, I suggest getting the SF-181 done before they change the race categories. Now, because of what happened yesterday, that's in limbo, and for good reason. When we go to this, we went to the definitions here. The U.S. Census also states that what? An individual's response to the race question is based upon self-identification. An individual's response to the race question is based upon self-identification. Twice. Then they go back again another time. What is race? And it states that in part, the data on race were derived from answers to the question on race that was asked of individuals in the United States. The Census Bureau collects racial data in accordance with guidelines provided by the U.S. Office of Management and Budget, and these data are based on self-identification. So that means you have what? A right to self-identify. This is the government. Now this is also, for those that may be questioning this is also applicable for Canada. When we go to a Crow, which is a global, defining race and ethnicity. It's a post-secondary or non-profit organization that is in 40 countries, 11,000, here we go again, see, 11,000 post-secondary institutions. Race is based on the following 5 categories. And of course, white is defined as what? A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. Black or African American, a person having origins in any of the black racial groups of Africa. Terms such as Haitian or Negro can be used in addition to black or African American. But there's a problem. There's no black racial groups of Africa. So if any of you scholars out there, you black scholars, you Nikki Giovanni's, your Angela Davises, all of you Black Panthers, your Professor Griffs, all of your Farrakhan's, Nation of Islams, all of your Hebrew Israelites, all of your conscious black community, your Sanatir, Sarah Sutan Seti, all of your Rick Smiths, all of your Moor Science Temples, all of you people who call yourselves conscious, all the ones who are doing voodoo, Santeria, etc., you can't name a black racial group of Africa because your ancestors never called themselves black, because it's a description, an adjective which describes a color. So now, continuing on, now that's global. This is a crow. So advancing global higher education. The United Nations knows about it because we've sent them our questionnaires, inputs, and reports. So now continuing on. This is the most important picture here. Now you see why the White House has a problem, because this is called the Nilotic Negro, showing original types of big heads found in Europe. By kind permission of Messrs. Hutchinson and Company, the publishers of the Ugandan Protectorate, From the Origin and Evolution of Primitive Man by Albert Churchward in 1912. So the Nilotic Negro, that's why all the people in Europe are mad at the Africans, because the Africans know that was an area that they could migrate to because that's in their history. So these are original, found in Europe. That means this is the image. When they say European, this is what it is. So this is for President Trump. This is for DHS. This is for the United Nations. This is for Antonio Guterres. This is for the Pope. This is for the Vatican. This is for the Secretary, the Jesuit General. This is for all the religions on the planet. You can't talk about equality when a so-called, quote, Caucasian by Sir Harry Johnson, so that means he was knighted back in 1912 by Elizabeth II's father, who was King Edward IV. He would have been, they were already knowledgeable that Africans or Nilotics or Negroes were in existence in Europe as well as Africa. So therefore, the original European, this is what the original European looks like. That's why the White House has to pause. That's why Donald Trump has to pause. That's why the United Nations, the Rothschilds have to pause. The Rockefellers, the stock market, Bitcoin, it all has to pause, because this is a picture from a sir, a knighthood. So the elite know that the original Europeans are dark-skinned. Now, when we go to this picture here, this is a beautiful picture. I want to get another. I have another. There we go. This one's a little bigger. I'll make this one a little bigger, even though we got it here on the screen. This is important. Races of Man. And I give much honor to essays by ecoa.com. Much appreciation to you for putting this picture up. This is priceless. And this is going to, again, set the record straight. That's why they have a problem. The White House is staying silent, because now the secret is out. The truth is out. So we'll read the article here. Let's see. Strabo mentioned the importance of migrations in history, and believing that this particular migration had proceeded from Egypt to Ethiopia, remarks, Egyptians settled Ethiopia and Colchis. End note. Now when you see races of man, you see these are the different definitions of the races. I'm just going to go down here because we're losing a little bit of resolution. Okay, so you see Caucasian here. Well, I want to make this one a little sharper. I'll drop this one down. There we go. Okay, so this is your Caucasian here, and here's where we zoom in. What's going on here? Oh, they're messing with it, huh? Okay, so I have two different tabs open and it's adjusting them at the same time. Okay, so I have to zoom this one up to 400, otherwise if I don't, oh, actually I got one right here. There we go. Okay, so as you can see they have American here, I think Arabic, Australian, then they have Caucasian. Now you already know that looked like a nigger to me. European is what they're saying, but that is not correct, because we have the proof that this over here is what the original European looks like. That's where you get your Irish, your pygmies, which were what they call the leprechauns. So European, Mongol, and I can't tell what this one is. let me see over here. Hopefully I can see it on this one. Yeah, I can't tell what this race is here. So these are supposed to be the races of man. So to the left, the black man was labeled the original Caucasian. Let me read that again. So to the left, the black man was labeled the original Caucasian. Once again, it is a Greek, despite his chauvinism, who informs us that the Egyptians, Ethiopians, and Colchians belong to the same race, thereby confirming what Herodotus had said about the Colchians. The Colchians formed a cluster of Negroes among the white populations near the Black Sea, in brackets Caucasians. And your Black Sea would be considered your modern day Ukraine. Gaston Maspero, 1846 to 1916, by the almost unanimous testimony of ancient historians, they belonged to an African race, read Negro, in brackets, which first settled in Ethiopia on the Middle Nile. Following the course of the river, they gradually reached the sea. Moreover, the Bible states that Mizraim, Egypt, son of Ham, brother of Cush, the Ethiopian, and of Canaan, Israel, came from Mesopotamia to settle with his children on the banks of the Nile. End note. So this was published by, translated as The Dawn of Civilization, London in 1894, reprinted New York, Frederick Ungar, 1968. And of course there's a link so you can see even further pictures. So again, this proves why the White House is silent and did not meet their deadline. They cannot meet their deadline because on the SF-181 form, which I'll show here, which is produced by who? The Office of Personnel Management, OMB, which reports to the White House. So we know President Trump is going to see this video, and as well as his chief of staff, and as well as everyone else at the White House, not counting the liens that are on them. So when we go down, we see the definition of white: a person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, the Middle East, or North Africa. So the problem the White House has, this is called quantum checkmate. This is what I've coined, this is what I've stated numerous times. The White House, if they want to take off the Middle East or North Africa off the definition, that doesn't save them from the fact that Europe, the original European, is what they would call black. So that creates a problem. If they leave it as the status quo, that still is a problem because people are going to know that the original Caucasian is not what they call white. And the Middle East and North Africa are the same. So this white is in actuality this picture that you see back here. So it doesn't make a difference whether they take off Middle East or North Africa, or they try to say this is what a European is what they consider white. This is what the European is, not what's in school, not what's in the universities, not as what is in anthropology, National Geographic, Black Entertainment, BET. It's not on any of that. This is the real truth. So anyone who's not going to show and talk about the real truth, they are dealing with lies. They're not dealing with reality, and they're not going to solve the problems that they're claiming they want to solve. So this is your European. So we are indigenous and the real European and white. Continuing on. Oh yeah, so that's why Dane Calloway, you got to do a better job of doing your research and do a better job of doing studying and get some facts. I'm the one who told everybody about the SF-181 form. So for you, Jonah Bey, Yusuf L, and for the people that follow Jonah Bey and Yusuf L, for who else? Black Media, for who else is in there? Professor Griff, who else? Oh yeah, Sarah Sutton Seti, Tariq Nasheed, Umar Johnson, Dr. Cresswell Singh and her estate, the Howard University, all the historical black colleges and universities. All of you are guilty of miseducation. All of you, because the word black has no standing at law, and that's what Barack Obama said. I'm not even going to show the picture because you all already know that. And continuing on here, so this is what we're going to finish up with. Yes, right here. So in actual fact, this is a white woman, and this is a black woman. Don't hate the player, hate the game. This is what the US government, Canada, and 40 other countries, it's a global standard. And there's no getting around that. So just so we finish everything off and all being everything fair, this is going to be probably at least another year, if they even do that, for the White House to make a statement. They can't, because that means based on the SF-181, they are not Caucasian and they're not white, which means they're technically they can't do commerce. According to this form, because we already got the picture here, this is the original Negro. The original European. The original white man. The original Caucasian. So that's the problem they have, is quantum checkmate. Now, the ones who will, what will comprehend it is the artificial intelligence. And we already know it's making changes. And so the AI is following me, trying to dispute, but, you know, come with some logic. So here you all go. Barack Obama said the word black has no standing at law. So this is your original European. This is your original white man. This is your original white woman. And this is the problem that the White House and all the corporations on Turtle Island have. Because they are doing a job to destroy the Melaninite family. And now, with the use of your own words, you all have shown to the whole planet, the solar system, and the galaxy that you people masquerading as white and Caucasian are guilty, based on your own English language. So with that, this is 5-Day Comment number 109. For those of you that want to get on and change your race and ethnicity, please send an email to abyudgadur@gmail.com. That's abyudgadur@gmail.com to get put on the list to change your race and ethnicity. We are in the International Decade for People of African Descent, the working group of experts for people of African descent, the UN Office of High Commissioner for Human Rights, Zaid Al-Hussein, he's the head, he's not a chief. They're just doing that because they're watching what we're doing because it's costing them money. They know about all these documents. It's been put in their hands. They're not trying to help. It's about slavery. So when T.I. is talking about we got to do something, T.I., I told you what you need to do. When you was talking to Lil Wayne, stop playing the game. Stop calling yourself black. You're playing commerce. Call yourself white and American Indian, and call yourself indigenous. And you can do that. You have the right to self-identify. And that is also in the Organization of American States, which is the American Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. So they state you can self-identify as indigenous. So for all the American Indians, the Edomites, the ones who say they're red, and there was never any red races on Turtle Island, this is who I am. You don't have to like it. Prove me wrong. Until we see some skeletons of yours going back a couple million years, you are migrants. Weekly, trying to fight against facts. Anuki maku nubu at yunat sagar, maku shal at-sik-hata am shal Yamasee-Nuwabianat, anuki habunmu ila rashunatna, ila pa Temt-Ta, wa ila pa kun. Abdur Gadur, Abdur Gadur, Abdur Gadur.